Hello, blessings. I'm Starseed MA. Welcome to my channel, Elite Motivation. I am super excited to share my story with you of the zodiac signs and how we can get a better understanding of ourselves. Now, I know that a lot of us out there have a lot of questions about what can make us the most happiest, what is driving us to be the people that we are being every day, and how can we help ourselves to grow and our future children to grow, our future family to grow um, internally, without it being such a hardship and with a lot less trials and tribulations, as I like to say. So I started looking into the zodiac sign and have a lot of inspiration from other people that have done the research. I would say my other fellow enlightened individuals. Um, and created a story of about how we came into thought. So I hope you enjoy my story, and here we go. So we all know that the zodiac sign consists of 12 elements, and you break them down into 4 categories, which is fire, air, water, and earth. And thinking in the terms of, biblical terms, when they say first there was fire, then there was air, let there be lights, and then there was water, and then we had earth was made, right? And I put that into the context of creating it as different worlds, right? Because all of the zodiac sign is basically represent the stars, right? Aries, Gemini, Taurus, Cancer, Leo, Virgo, and so on, right? So those are the constellations in our skies when we look up with a telescope or looking at an astrology map, whatever you need to justify the stars for yourself. So the zodiac signs are compiled of those 12 constellations, and they're also broken down, like I said, to the 4 different elements, group elements. So I broke it down into a story of different worlds that we experienced. So the story goes as the first world is when first it was fire. So with fire, those zodiac signs are Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. And when you consider the house that they represent, it's self, creativity, and higher learning. So I'm going to explain this for the first world so that you can get the gist of what I'm saying, and that I can go a little bit faster and a little deeper as we go into each world. So when we come to the understanding that we are a reflection of self and we are a reflection of each other, just having an experience. Of course, the first self was creating its first experience of being in this world and what was needed to help it exist. So self realized that it needed to get its creativity, and that's when it realized it needed the reflection of the Leo constellation. And then as self was becoming more creative, self realized it wanted to inquire more higher learning and added in the reflection of Sagittarius, and let that world be experienced with those elements, which are, masculine energy that you would deal with. And when you think about the qualities of them, the Aries was a determined energy, and then it manifested into an unwavering energy, and then became this versatile energy when Sagittarius came. So it allows you to really be able to, weigh your thoughts, weigh who you are, how you've been creating yourself, and how you can grow within yourself. So once Cellf experienced this level of being, it realized that it took a lot of time to be able to enjoy life, and at the same time didn't really find all the other elements that it needed to feel fulfilled from experiencing itself. So that's when Cellf went and created its second world of being, and added in the second element of air. And that's when Cellf pulled the energy of the Gemini, which is communication. And once Cellf started being able to communicate better, it started to it came into the world of partnerships. And once partnerships became available through communication, then Cellf began to experience the aspects of hopes and dreams and friends, and finding a balance, and really seeing what it is that it's becoming, its vision. And because this is an air sign, it's still masculine. So it was still a very masculine world. So thinking about its hopes and dreams, Cellf went and created a third world to bring another layer of self to experience, to be able to slow down everything that's happening in front of it. Because Cellf wants to be able to see every detail. So you want to always remember that Cellf is always learning to add layers. Things can always go around in a circle and into its completion, which is great. And Cellf always, you realize at this point that Cellf always wants to be able to find that balance. It's always going to end with that. So when Cellf came into this third world, which is water, this is where you start having the feminine energy come into play. And Cellf is able to start creating experiences with family. It's experiencing its roots, who it's being. Then it takes a reflection of Scorpio and starts to learn how to experience what it's inheriting through this experience. Things are starting to die. Understanding the death of being oneself, and then of course that goes into the third zodiac sign, which is Pisces, where you start really seeing the revealing of secrets and sorrows, and understanding that things begin and end, and having that put on in the layer of what you'll be experiencing within Cellf was vital. And after having that experience, noticing that it was experiencing all of these things beginning and ending, and how it was kind of still like on balance, And mostly because my feeling is now you have these two masculine energies into play. You got the fire and you got the air, and then you're bringing in this water, which is the feminine, and it's not quite balanced yet. And self really wants to find that core layer of to be able to experience itself wholeheartedly and really want to complete that pie. And that's when self made its fourth world, which is earth, um, and which is a feminine energy. So now you have a dual world to where you're really bringing in those masculine layers, you're really bringing in those feminine layers, and allowing yourself two separate feminine layers and two separate masculine layers to really reflect and and um, and experience self. And those that final layer is is our earth signs, which are Taurus, which we realize that in order to really fully experience self creatively, with the highest amount of learning, and we need to be able to communicate with our partners, and we need to be able to see what our hopes and dreams are, and to be able to really have a core family and know what we're inheriting, and be able to see what our beginnings and endings are. We really need to be able to have values. um, that was that last layer that we're experiencing and implementing in our experience of self is our values, is our service, and our work status. Um, that's that final layer that has been embedded in us to be able to grow as a consciousness. So it's not just about being in self, but figuring out how self can be of service and acquire that through our work status. And all of that will help us become more of fulfilled on a day-to-day basis. And that's just thinking of it on a simple level of what is a zodiac sign and how can I use it to the benefit of who I am and how I build. And that's just the story that I came up with. That's that first layer, of understanding yourself and and everything. And I wanted to go into another layer of being able to understand how you can now take this understanding of the zodiac sign and reflecting on self, and how you can now turn that into an education for self, so that you can really see who it is that you need to be for yourself in order for you to really catapult into the next level of your life and what you're experiencing. So tune in for the next video. I'm going to put that separately, just so that to keep this video short, and for those that want to go dive deeper, they can go and click on the next video that's going to show. So thank you for listening to my story. This is just one layer of my understanding of being us. Thank you for joining. Love you. Peace.